All right, pre-show shenanigans. A week off of the Waterboy pod, and because of that, we need to address this now in the pre-show shenanigans. But if there were an episode last week coming out right now for all the Waterboy faithful to listen, I would have started it off, and it may have gone for half of the show. To be honest, I'm not sure how much combine recap we would have had
Yeah,
last week's first
probably not
episode.
much.
But the biggest sports story of 2 weekends ago occurred within um I guess the term is a live action event. I think they're technically considered sports, but or sports
No,
entertainment. That's the
yeah,
term.
or
Sports entertainment.
what is it?
What would the
Not a
Savannah
dramedy,
Bananas qualify as? All right.
sports entertainment.
Sports entertainment. The
But
Globetrotters.
I'm thinking of like stuff that's staged though. Like what is that? What reality TV? Would it be reality TV technically?
We could like a soap opera. It's
Yeah,
a
that
soap
is
opera.
pretty. Yeah, it
It's a
is.
soap opera. And
It
so the
is.
the, the biggest story in all of sports came from, I would say, a top eight soap opera in the United States. I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but the largest soap operas in the United States go by the name of the National Football League, college football, the National Basketball Association, now the National Hockey League. And you know what? I'll give a little bit of love for you, Angel Reese. Throw the WNBA in there. Okay. Those are the greatest reality TV shows in the
I
United
just
States
keynote
sport.
MLB not in there. So either it's not a reality TV show or it's
Well,
just not as good.
that's baseball is just life. All right. Baseball is a life experience. Okay. It is America's pastime. I'm not going to get into that now. That could be the pre-show for the Alien episode. How baseball represents American life. We're saving that though. When we got dead space. Um, but the biggest show came out of the biggest soap opera in the US for the most part, the WWE. Everett. John Cena, who has been maybe one of the most beloved figures just in all of the United States, not just the United States, the world. Okay, John Cena is global.
He is
But
now. He is for sure.
oh, certainly now. But yeah, John Cena turned heel, and for I'm assuming many people listening, you probably aren't as much of a wrestling nerd as I am. But
You should at
what
least
that
know that.
what that just means is they writ into the story that John Cena is now a bad guy. He's no longer the
Well, specifically, it means going from a good guy
oh
to
yeah,
then being a
yeah,
bad guy.
heel turn implies you were good at first, and that's why the heel turn is so important.
Right.
Because it's from what WWE has been coming up with this character, they just 180'd the past 20 something years of work. Like he's been in WWE
Well,
either
also
since
though,
right before we were born or
he
starting at that time.
um he also was originally approached to turn heel, I think, in the mid early 2000s, and they were
Right
like,
when I
no.
started watching
Yeah.
WWE, they wanted him to go heel when he fought The Rock. And it's that meme. I hear voices in the air,
Yeah.
hear
Yeah.
them loud and clear. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
meme for that fight, they had The Rock be the heel and John Cena was the hero face. But John Cena
Right.
was like, hey, Vince, if you really want this WrestleMania to be something, make me the bad guy and The Rock
I
the
am getting a
hero.
fraud alert right now, by the way.
Ooh, now Vince McMahon fraud alert, 100%.
Well, no, I think
One of the biggest.
it might be on John Cena currently being the actual
Oh,
heel.
actually, you know what? That also
That
coincides
would work.
perfectly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say The Rock is arguably the greatest heel in all of the world. Okay, he is so good. When The Rock's a bad guy, he's goaded. But John Cena turned heel, and ever I heard this, and this actually got me excited for wrestling. But John Cena's one of the many famous things he's known for, in addition to following like 8 million people on Twitter. Go check John Cena on Twitter. He's probably following you if you're listening to this right now.
Most likely, yes.
Good chance John Cena's following you. But other than that, John Cena is known for granting the most make a wishes in the history of Make a Wish. Now, Everett, what if I told you WWE has filed a trademark for Break a Wish?
Oh no. No. Oh no.
They're breaking the internet. They are going to break
Yeah,
the
I
internet.
will say
If John Cena comes out with a shirt that says "Break a Wish," oh, it's done. It's
I
over.
have seen a lot of videos of children like throwing their John Cena toys and shit. Like
Now, this is
it's
one thing I'll
expected.
say.
I'm just gonna hey, all
Yeah,
right, say that. I'm gonna say one
or
thing. We're
go.
gonna wrap it. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I want to be the
Okay,
last thing, and we'll
okay.
wrap with
I
what
was
I'm
just gonna
about to say.
say for this next generation of kids, they're about to grow up. If they're still tapped in WWE, they're about to. They just saw their hero turn heel. This next generation of WWE fans are going to be the most sick, twisted WWE fans ever. They will have negative loyalty to whoever holds the belt in the WWE. They will always be looking for the counter culture rebel. This new generation of fans, I'm jealous of them because they're seeing what makes wrestling great right now in front of their eyes. Because
Yeah,
like
yeah. Although, all right, here I'm gonna wrap with
yeah,
this. We're gonna wrap
wrap
with
it.
this. We're
Yeah,
going to the show.
got a lot today.
Grant, my theory is that John Cena is not actually a heel. Grant, my theory is this is a whole inside job, long term play. It's John Cena's retirement tour. Oh, they're not ending his career on being a heel. It's not working that way. I think. I think it's going to be some storyline. Maybe there's going to be some weird thing going on. Maybe it's a
He
clone.
turns on the
Maybe
Rock.
it's this. Yeah, I think that's how it's going to end. It's going to be WrestleMania. It's going to be there. The Rock's going to be doing his thing, and John Cena just comes out of nowhere, just takes him out, and that's how it ends.
Well, this is going to be the special detail, Everett. John Cena will be fighting in WrestleMania in the main event for the WWE Championship. Now, this is where it gets a little fun. Everett, right now, John Cena is tied with Nature Boy Ric Flair drip. Go woo on a. He's tied with Ric Flair with 16 WWE championships.
Oh
John
no,
Cena.
John Cena's going to win. He's going to win,
Okay.
and then he's going to give it back to Cody Rhodes as he retires.
Okay. I'll have to talk this over with creative. But we could work on that. We can look into that a little bit. But yeah, no, that I'm now fully back in on the World Wrestling Entertainment. I'm completely back in what they just did, and I'm gonna shout out WWE because they did it for us. They did it for like the age 18 to 28 viewer that grew up watching. Like they did this for us, and because of that, I'm going to shout out Triple H. You're the man, Triple H. Man of the week. Well, Timothy Chalamet exists. Second man of the week goes to Triple H. But yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, what a heel turn. Heel turn for the ages. Broke my heart into a million pieces. But then again, I was beyond hyped on that. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Pardon me for a sec. Gotta get this laptop charger real quick. Don't want
that dying mid recording. That would not be great.
Yeah, no, we would not enjoy that happening. But without further ado, folks, let's get into the episode. All right, what is going on, everybody? Oh my God. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Warboy Podcast. You take 1 week off podcasting and I forget the intro, which is muscle memory at this point.
Yeah, no, you've been doing it for long enough. You should have it down, man.
It is episode 297 and NFL free agency is in full swing, folks. We're only a week away from the greatest 2 days. I'm going to extend that to greatest 4 days in sports for March Madness opening weekend. MLB opening day is right around the corner. And I've got a little Roki Sasaki update. If Chase Burns didn't exist, Roki Sasaki's the greatest pitcher on the planet, but more on Chase Burns to come. And Luka Doncic has revived my love for the NBA. Everett, we're going to have to do a thumbnail photo shoot soon. Let the Water Boys in.
For the Lakers.
I have dripped out in Laker merch. I'm all in. I'm all in on this team. I'm all in on them. But
I think I'll be around for NBA playoffs time. I think I'll be around town for that.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll make it happen.
We're not going to attend, but we could definitely like look at Laker prices for
we can look at the tickets. We can view them through our computer screens.
Yeah,
that's about 100%. As far as I will be to seeing the court. Yeah,
but it's an exciting time to be a Laker fan right now. But NFL free agency,
Yeah.
it has
So,
been.
Grant, I just want to start off with this because I mean, it just happened as we're recording this. This is more so implications for the actual draft. Our favorite running back, Grant, my favorite running back, it's not. Javonte Williams has signed with the team, Grant. He is signed with the Dallas Cowboys. And for that reason, I believe they are out on Ashton Genty come the draft, even if he's available. So,
Is
because
Javonte Williams 1 year, 3 million enough to say no? Ash, hey, if
well,
I'm
because
Big
what? Hey,
Jerry,
well, no, this is what I'm saying this way. The reason I say that is because I know it's 3 mil, not that much money, but they did say that they wanted Rico Dowdle to be 1A and 1B situation. Like, and I think that Javonte Williams, he could end up being, a third stringer. Like, it's possible. But I do think that if you go around and like you have that stuff going on, like, depending on who's available at pick 10, I can see them going defense pretty easily at pick 10.
yeah, I just
Not
read a
pick 10.
couple.
Are they pick 12? What pick are they?
Yeah, 12.
12. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like as we see some of these moves occur, it can help kind of frame how these NFL draft picks are going to go and whatnot. Yeah, we see Cowboys. They might be passing on Genty. As a man who may or may not have personal ties to Ashton Genty long term as an NFL football player, I was really, really looking forward to seeing him, uh, work on. Shit, I'm sorry. Some I just read popped up that is taking me out of it real quick. Yeah, I was really
some just
hoping.
popped
I
up.
was really hoping Ashton Genty was just going to be that next Cowboys running back. Give him 21 like it's Zeke. What did Ashton Genty wear at
I
Boise?
mean,
I don't know. 0
23.
clue what he wore. But yeah, I just feel like Jerry Jones likes to make some
Oh, he wore
splash picks.
two, Grant.
Oh,
He wore two.
okay. Yeah, I just feel like Jerry likes to make his splash picks.
No, he does.
So
I mean, at this point,
Cowboys
it
trading
also
up for
is hey,
Travis,
what sells tickets is the other thing.
trading
Now,
up for Travis. Jerry can give Dion one call. Dion will be like, Jerry, this is literally me in 2025. This is me. Do you want me back on your team? It's Travis.
I mean, look, this is what I'm just looking at here. Okay, I could see Ashton Genty. He could be just. I'm just looking at the first, let's say, first 12 picks because I doubt he slides past 12. All right, Ashton Genty could be a Las Vegas Raider. He could be a Patriot. He could be maybe a Saint. Kamara's old. 1-2 combo.
Kamara's still
I
kicking
doubt it.
though.
He's still kicking, but I like that's a very low. Like I'm just saying
Yeah. Okay.
possibilities to make it work. All right.
Yeah.
Like there's
Okay.
zero chance he goes to the 40. Like that's not happening. There's zero chance that he ends up going to the Jets. That's not happening. The Titans aren't they're not going to do that. It's too high. Number one,
Yeah.
it's too high.
Yeah.
Browns have Nick Chubb, even though he's old. Giants won't do that. Like they'll
They
run
already
Tyron Tracy
tried.
for another
They are
year.
well. They also just tried their crazy running back and then let him leave the building.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, maybe like I wouldn't rule it out. It's just not
no, I'm
likely.
saying Giants would not take him. It would. The
I would
fan
say
base
that
would be irate.
the first destination I could see it is you give it to the Raiders. The Raiders still need a running back. They have not signed one this
And their
free
pick
agency.
five,
Six. Six. And if they make it past six, I mean, Bears are there at 10, and I would be substantially spooked if he ended up on the Bears right now after what they've done. But they win every offseason, Grant. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. But I would be spooked. But I would. So, I don't know. I mean, then you go to all these other teams. After the Cowboys at 12, Dolphins won't draft one. Colts won't draft one. Falcons won't draft one. Cardinals won't. Maybe the Bengals do. The Seahawks won't. The Bucks won't. Maybe the Broncos do at 20. Like, so really there's a pretty far fall off before teams start needing running backs. And then I mean, the Packers won't, Chargers won't if they sign Najee, and then the Vikings at 24 maybe. So there could be a fall. You don't know. I don't know. I mean, if he makes it past the Bears at 10, I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, like I'm just seeing if he were to make it past Bears at 10 and also somehow make it past Cowboys at 12, which is looking likely. Dolphins can't. I mean, if Dolphins drafted it, I mean, I disband the franchise if they took Ashton Genty. The Colts, you pay
can't.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
So can't do that.
Falcons have Bijan.
You have a Bijan Robinson. So
Cardinals just paid James Conner, and they just drafted FSU guy last year.
Okay, so Cardinals are out. Thank you for that reminder.
Bengals.
Chase Brown is a weapon.
And Chase they just Brown re-signed Samaje Perine.
Yeah. Seattle Seahawks, you have Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. You don't need a third. Tampa
Bucky
Bay
Irving and
Bucky
Rachaad
Irving.
White.
You're not taking him if you're Tampa Bay. Now Denver. Now the Denver Broncos. Though,
they don't have an RB1.
That would make me horrible. Ever. I can't exaggerate this anymore. And Denver, Boise-ish area.
It's around there. It's around there. It's probably the closest team to Boise.
Yeah, if you're in Idaho, you're likely a Broncos fan. Who?
Probably. I don't know who else you'd really cheer for.
Yeah, like you're not going Seattle, like
no, too far.
Yeah, no, you're a Broncos fan. So
also there you could even make the argument like, oh, well, they were just good when I was growing up. Both the Broncos and Seahawks probably would be equally good at the same times during that span. So Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson, it would be the kids we're talking about nowadays.
Met up in a Super Bowl. Yeah.
So crazy to think about that, by the way. Kids growing up, that's what it was.
No, yeah. I mean, like some of my earliest NFL memories were the Chiefs just dropping 2 and 14s every year, Everett. Those were some of my earliest.
How times change.
Hey, man. I will say though, NFL, although it sounds weird because you have these crazy massive rosters, injuries happen. Like NFL is the easiest sports or league where you can go from 0 to 1 in a 5-year rolling window. Easiest league.
True.
Obviously, in one season, that's not easy in any.
Well, hey, teams have done it more often than you really think, though.
Yeah, Texans last year, for
Commanders.
Commanders, it does happen. Actually, you know what? You're right. No. In the NFL, you actually can go 0 to 100 in off season. I wish Joe Ortiz helped us go from like 50 to 75 this off season at least. Looks like we're not going to be getting that. But actually, now that I think, it is Denver running. It is Denver getting Genty. That would make me horrified.
But I mean, you get like outside of that, it's going to be Steelers if they don't have Najee.
I expect Najee Harris to be a Charger by the end. By the end of today, I'm surprised.
Steelers, Vikings. That's it. Maybe the Chiefs, if they decide to. I mean, the Chiefs would have 100% take Ashton Genty if he was available at 31. So
this is the one thing I'm thinking though. Like, if at 20 Broncos, like if you have Genty available, you should take Ashton Genty.
Fire George Patton if they don't take him.
Hey, I'll put it for George Patton, C. Farrell, brother. But if you know, you know. If it comes down to that though, like what I think Chargers situation, like kind of around that pick 20th. Their second round pick is going to be around 50 or so. I think there's a lot of good backs at that second round pick. Third round, we'll see how deep these running backs can go, but I expect second round to see a ton of backs coming off the board.
We'll get into I know this is the free agency timeline, so we'll have to get into that. By the way, breaking news: Dre Greenlaw is signing with the Denver Broncos.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dre Greenlaw is the one who sat out, pulled himself out of the game.
Nope, that was Devondre Campbell.
Okay,
Dre Greenlaw is the guy who blew out his knee in the Super Bowl, and then the 49ers proceeded to implode after that happened. That's Dre Greenlaw. So very good player. Very good player.
Yeah, 3 years, 35 mil. Congratulations, Dre Greenlaw. Welcome to the AFC best.
And they signed Hufanga too, and that's not good for you. But I
Dude,
know I know
I'll
that,
worry about that in August.
I know that we're gonna have to talk about the free agency stuff here. But the only other thing I'll say, you mentioned Chargers draft. I was talking to somebody else today just about the running backs because obviously the Vikings re-signed Aaron Jones and like the Viking. This is such a deep class. The Vikings need to draft a running back, and personally, I want them to draft one high this year because you'll have a year of Aaron Jones and that guy takes over next year. Um, yes. So the issue is
Yeah,
the
Jones is
Vikings
on
have.
a 2 year deal, but next year you cut him, no guaranteed
I
money.
believe he's just on a 1 year, but maybe it is two. I think it is two. I think
I'll
you're right.
check, but
No, I think you're right.
yeah.
I think you're right.
Okay.
But either way, I want the Vikings to draft a guy. The problem is the Vikings have 3 picks this draft, Grant. The Vikings have a first
Yeah.
rounder and 2 5th rounders.
Yeah.
Personally,
That's not a lot of
personally,
capital.
what I would really hope to do, and we kind of take this approach in our dynasty drafts too, but Vikings on the clock, pick 23 or pick 24, whichever pick it is. I'll double check
24.
here.
24.
24. Vikings trade down, Grant. I want them to get some picks back. 100%. Get a third. You could land a second, dude. I don't care. Let the Eagles trade up to 24. I don't give a fuck. Get capital, and let's still get a first round pick because you're already at pick 24. It's not going to be super likely you're getting the guy of your dreams. Like, unless Ashton Genty's there, stay. Stay.
All right, I'm looking
But,
at
like,
teams beneath you who I think should have. So Texans just got a lot of capital, but to move down one, I'm not sure how much you'll be getting back.
they're also probably going to go O line. They
Okay,
have to.
there's that also. Rams. Now Rams love to say "f them picks," so but
Well,
they're
let's put
only
it about
moving
this way:
up two
if I'm
spots,
the
so I don't.
Vikings, there are really 3 positions that I'm probably focused, maybe 4 positions I'm focused on in this draft overall. Okay,
Okay,
running
let's hear
back,
them.
cornerback, defensive tackles, interior line, and that's dependent. If they sign Jonathan Allen, fuck that. That don't
Yeah,
matter no more.
got it.
And interior O line. Right now,
Okay,
they still don't have a guard. They still don't have starting guards. Okay.
you do.
Um,
Do you have a second?
no,
All
first and
right,
two
this is
fifths.
what I
That's
think you
it.
do. You are going to acquire a second round pick and you're going to draft Donovan Jackson in the second round. He's going to be your guard for the time being. And then when Brian O'Neill decides to kick the can, that's your new right tackle for life. So Donovan Jackson.
I would take. I mean, if you can get a 3rd round pick, that gets you Tate Ratledge. So high third
I
round
like
pick.
Tay Ratledge. And then there's another interior lineman out of Georgia I really, really like. I believe he's a center. I'm blanking on his name. There's
I'm
another
not gonna have
interior
that for
out of
you. I don't
Georgia
know.
who's a dog that I really love. I will also say though, I don't know if you need center per
No, we
se.
just signed Ron Kelly. Just signed Ron Kelly.
Okay, so okay, don't need center. In this center class now, Seth McLaughlin's a guy that I think he just tore his Achilles. I don't know when he'll be playing.
Did not realize you
Um,
guys just re-signed Bradley Bozeman. I am so sorry.
no, it's not a great day down here in South Bay. But
South
uh,
Bay.
yeah, MB Chargers, baby, El
That's
Segundo
yeah.
Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, you'll pick up on it when you're out here.
You
You'll figure it
can't
out.
say I've heard too many people call it South Bay to be fair, but
You
yeah.
you will when you come out here. You'll see quick. But I actually I think that's all right. Ian Rappaport just tweeted out Chargers are pursuing Najee Harris and hope to close a deal. Yeah, as expected. That makes sense. Uh, I do think though, if you move back from, I was gonna say Commanders would seem like a team that trade up with you, but they just
I
traded all their
mean, you know
picks
what it
away for
will
Laramie.
you know what it
So
will be? It's going to be one of those early 2nd round teams that want Jackson Dart. It's what it's going to be. It's what it's going to be. It's
okay,
what it should be. It's what it should
yeah.
be.
And of those teams, as a guy who might potentially have Jackson Dart have some ties to him emotionally for the future of these teams that I'm looking at, and it would make me happiest. Um, I don't know if it works, but hey, the Falcons showed me anything is possible. If Jackson Dart is a New Orleans Saint, that saves me in so many ways. That would
I've heard
make
some
me
people who are
so
Saints
hyped.
fans want
That would
Jackson
make
Dart,
me
to be fair.
so hyped if Jackson Dart was a Saint.
I could see him also being a New York Giant.
I can see that happening. I think it'd be a disaster if Jackson Dart had to
Oh,
play in New
any
York.
quarterback to the Giants is a disaster waiting to
I'm
happen
not.
right now
I'm
in
not
this
trying to.
draft.
I'm not trying to be a Glazer, but like, I just I feel Shador in New York working out. I just feel it would work out.
Maybe.
I just
Okay,
feel it would.
let's just look at some of the biggest signings from today, Grant, just how it's worked out for a lot of these teams. Um, I what would you say is the biggest like transaction of today so far? Laramie Tunsil getting traded is pretty
Yeah,
big.
I would say
Um,
it's Laramie getting traded.
Sam Darnold, Justin Fields to the Jets up there. DJ to the Lions. Was not expecting that one. Not too happy camper over here right now on that side. And Chris Godwin staying with the Bucks. Would have let
Yeah,
him
that
walk
one,
Tampa.
the
I would have
Chris
let him go.
Godwin actually stunned me because I was like, dude, McMillan came in and he
Played well.
produced. Like, I'm not saying like a good Josh Palmer in there for you, Phil. And like, no, he was a good ass NFL wide receiver when
Let
he
me read you
got
his
started.
stats from let's
Yeah,
say week
yeah,
14 because I'm
yeah.
invested in his
Give me the
future.
game log. Give me a game log from.
All right, week 14. So
Just give me
79% of
catch
snaps.
yards. Just give me
I
catches,
got the whole
yards,
thing.
touchdowns.
Okay. So week 14, 79% snaps,
Just give
seven
me catch, yard,
targets,
touchdown.
4 catches for 59 yards and 2 touchdowns. Week 15, 5 catches, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. Week 16, 5 catches, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. Week 17, 5 catches on 5 targets for 51 yards, 2 touchdowns. Week 18, 5 catches, 74 yards, 1 touchdown. Touchdown
Yeah.
every single, basically down the stretch when Chris Godwin's actually dead.
Yeah. And as a guy who owned Bucky Irving, they'd get into the red zone. I'm like, let Bucky better score. It's
The
just up
offense was
Jalen
working
McMillan, pop
really, really
pass.
well. They were working really well.
Yeah. Hey, they were cooking. Hey, Liam Cohn did cook in Tampa. That's why he's
Yeah,
adding
they did. They did.
Duval or however the hell he said it.
Dude,
That
well, yeah, I don't know.
weirdo.
How did he say that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I
We'll
can't
have
even
to
replicate that.
we'll have to master our Liam Cohn like
Duval.
yeah, like shit. What mannerisms, cadence.
Yeah,
That's what I'm looking for. Cadence, tone. We'll
yeah.
have to match that. Uh, but actually, yeah, no. So, boy, you actually got me excited on the possibility of Jackson Dart being a New Orleans Saint. You got me excited right now on that possibility.
All right. Well, why don't we? I want to start with this. I want to get into this because there's a couple free agent moves that I think we actually do need to talk about. First of all, let's talk about Laramie Tunsil because you're invested in CJ and so am I because of Dynasty. So Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders for a 25 third, a 25 seventh, a 26 second, and a 26 fourth. A lot of draft capital. The problem, Grant, is the Houston Texans already didn't have an offensive line. CJ Stroud was, I believe, already the most hit quarterback in the league, and now I know he's false start, man. Him and fucking guy on the
Jawan
Chiefs,
Taylor.
Jawan Taylor, fighting for false start man of the year. But I mean, you can't dude, what they haven't signed anybody. Maybe if they sign Cam Robinson, all right, it's a little bit better, but you need to go overhaul the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Cam Robinson is better than whoever the hell's starting for them right now at left tackle.
Yeah, Laramie Tunzel, he's had some moments in his past, has lowered his draft stock. Maybe his stepdad leaked those. Who knows? I'm not the judge, but what I do know, Everett, is that Laramie Tunzel is a pretty damn good football player. I know that. That I can confirm, and I do know that to be fact. And regardless what capital you get back, it's just one answer you had to help out your rookie quarterback that now you just created a problem. You just made a problem at a priority position like tackle that you could have not had to solve. I'm just wondering though, like, are Texans looking draft here? to go get a tackle. Now I know
I
that
mean,
there's some guys at the top that have drawn some attention. I know like Will Campbell specifically, but if I'm the Houston Texans and I can get Josh Simmons, the Ohio State tackle, around that pick, I don't know when Josh Simmons will be healthy. I believe he tore his ACL like in against Oregon the first time. So in
I
like
mean,
October.
let's look.
But
I'm looking at best tackles here. I'm just gonna look at the free agency top 100 list here,
because
and
hey,
see.
your interior line can be awful, but you're going to address tackle first. Like
So
you need to get that in line.
the best tackle on the market currently available is Cam Robinson. Um, After that, I mean, I'm just looking because they just need everybody for offensive line. They need everybody. Mekhi Becton is still out there. He's still available. Um, Kevin
I don't think
Zeitler.
you'd want to sign Becton as a tackle though. Like at guard.
No. I'm saying they need offensive line overall, like
Oh
everything
no,
overall.
I know, but
That's
I'm saying
I'm
you
just
need to
listing offensive
address
linemen.
tackle first.
I know I'm specifying the left tackle position, but I'm just
Got it.
addressing
Got it.
offensive line. Kevin Zeitler's there. He's a guard. James Daniels still available. Dan Moore already signed with the team. Tevin Jenkins is still available. Um, who else is in here that's like capable? That's about it. That's about it.
All
That's
right,
about it.
I'm stunned to see this, but on ESPN, Josh Simmons has jumped Will Campbell as the number one tackle available.
Will
Dude, guys,
Campbell does not have good arms. His
he
arms
tore
are
his
very
ACL.
short.
Josh Simmons just tore his ACL though. Okay. All right. Hey, I'm a fan of Josh Simmons. Number one tackle in the draft though. I'm not sure about that. I've heard a lot of great things. Okay, Calvin Banks out of Texas, absolute baller, massive. 6'4", 320. Cam Williams also, yeah, he's a bit better. 6'5", 340. I believe he was a right tackle. Got absolutely demolished on Jack Sawyer for that last strip sack on Quinn Ewers to seal the natty, essentially. Thank you.
Yep.
But heard a lot of good things about them too. I know Josh Connerly out of Oregon. He's a dog. Maybe a little bit undersized, but he's a dog. And I've heard a ton about this Minnesota tackle, Ursary. Ursary.
I'm not
I don't
familiar.
know how to
Not
pronounce it,
familiar.
but I believe Ursary was actually like considering transferring to Ohio State this upcoming season and not entering the draft. But I think last second his agent was like, "Hey, you're getting calls for whatever his round is." But yeah, he's a bit more big body, 6'6", 330, a little bit more taller, has that frame. But what you were saying, Will Campbell, that is true. I heard short limbs, not long arms, bad for the lockout. You don't want to see that.
I mean, would be a good guard. I think he'd translate much better to be guard in the NFL. You don't need to have super long arms to be a guard.
No, my concern is I think he might be a little too tall to be a guard.
Well, Mekhi Becton's 6'7". So if
No, I
Mekhi
know.
Becton can be
Yeah.
good at guard,
Well, this is my
I'm
one
less
thing.
concerned. The only problem is it limits the teams that can draft after signing.
Yeah, like
Mekhi Becton is not getting signed by the Cardinals. Kyler Murray throwing behind Mekhi Becton might be the funniest thing I would ever see in football.
I will say another thing about Will Campbell. It makes him a bit of a strange prospect. Like he's a pass blocker through and through, but athletically, physically, like he doesn't have those pass blocking traits. He doesn't have the long arms. He doesn't have. I also am pretty sure Will Campbell. It's either him who has small hands or it's Tyler
Will Campbell.
Warren.
I believe
I
it's Will. Actually, no, I did see Tyler Warren does have
I
smaller
saw
hands as
Tyler
well.
Warren's got like some of the smallest hands. I think it'll be okay. I think he'll end up being fine. Remember Joe Burrow's small hands.
Yeah.
I think he'll be all right. But like Will Campbell, the wingspan, arm length, that is slightly concerning. Like you like
Let's
these 6'6", 6'7" tackles to have these freak
yeah,
Giannis wingspans.
let's get back to like actual free agency stuff a little bit because
Yeah,
the
enough of
draft
that
we got
shit.
time for draft. But
Sam
speaking of
Darnold got $100 million, Everett.
so that trade that was made, I was talking to our resident Raiders fan. He was like, I think that was a really good trade. Like, thank God we did that over Sam. Like this much. I'm like, all right, well, if I'm the Seahawks, overall is the Geno trade that they traded to get Geno or whatever they did, or Sam Howell, like that whole trade. Like, does that make sense? No, because they gave up more to get Sam Howell than they gave away Geno for.
Yeah.
But in just the vacuum of Geno Smith and that transaction, they got younger at the quarterback position and paid less for a player that I think is playing better, at least last year, than Geno Smith, and they got a draft pick out of it. Now, I don't think either Sam Darnold or Geno Smith are bringing your team the promised land. I don't think they're that guy.
No.
So, I would much rather pay Sam Darnold 37 a year than Geno Smith 40 to 45 a year. I'll tell you that much, though.
Yeah, yeah, like
So,
uh yeah, it seems just kind of a move that, it's happy in the sense that they're like, all right, we're not gonna be like locked into Gino, but if I have this correct, Gino was just about to be on the last year of his deal. They could have walked
he
away
would have
from
been.
Gino in a year.
They offered him an extension of 40 to 45 though, or like maybe about what they gave Sam Darnold. So they offered him an extension. He said no.
Oh goodness. So you're telling me Tom Brady is about to extend Geno Smith for that price?
Pete Carroll is for 40 to 45
Oh,
a year.
I forgot about Pete Carroll. But hey, what we were saying though, Pete Carroll, like dude's like 73. He's not doing a rookie
No, he is.
quarterback.
This is why I thought he was going to have a quarterback back there. But if you're about to pay that guy 40 to 45, they're not drafting a quarterback to start this year.
No, what?
Absolutely not. That's why I love Ashton Genty to them. I know Mason Graham is also on the list, but Ashton Genty would be absolutely beautiful in that offense. They'd need a wide receiver as well, technically, but yeah.
Yeah, could they right now who are their wideouts? Jacoby Myers, is he still there?
Yeah, Jacoby Myers, I believe, is wide receiver one. Let me see
Like
who
Tet there could be. Would
Jacoby
six be
Myers.
early for Tet?
I
Would
mean,
that be
let's put it
too
this way,
early?
Grant. They currently have Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, DJ Turner. Those are our top three wide receivers. Compare that to their starting running back in Zamir White. I think Alexander Madison's a free agent. So Zamir White and Sincere McCormick. Which one do you think is more of a very obvious issue?
It's back, but hey, at pick 38, Travion Henderson's there.
Maybe,
So
maybe not.
you can get a quality back round two. Maybe Trevion's
You
not there, but
can.
Judkins is there.
True. You
Let
could.
you
Yeah, you
can get a
could.
quality back at 38. I
But it's
if
no
you
Ashton
take your
Genty.
of course. But
Yes, I get it. Wide receiver availability is much slimmer.
well, but also it's like, if you are the Raiders right now, you're Tom Brady, do you think in the next 4 years on Ashton Genty's rookie contract, you're obviously not doing it this season, but do you think 2, 3, 4 years from now you can make a roster around him? If you think the answer is yes, go take Genty. If you think the answer is no, you better not draft your Saquon Barkley there and then let him walk in free agency 3 years later, because that was a waste. Like if you're taking a player top 10, like I'm drafting this guy and the hope is he's good enough that I extend him to a fat ass contract because he's good. Like
True.
that,
No, very true. Very true.
like you want that. And
Now,
with
okay.
Genty, I'm just
Yeah,
concerned.
I mean, he's going to be a good player in the NFL. It's just kind
Yeah.
of like also it's a weird situation in the NFL right now because of what the Eagles were able to do. Like some teams are very still power like throwing offenses, and some teams are starting to move back towards run heavy schemes. So we had that switch a couple years ago where it went from very run heavy to very pass heavy. And now we're kind of in a limbo state where some teams are going back to run heavy and some are sticking with pass heavy. So really you could go either way. But yeah, I mean, it does make, it's going to be a toss up decision either way. And I like, it's just going to be interesting. I think if they sign a wide receiver in free agency, if they get like a Stephon or they get Cooper Kupp or they get, Amari Cooper comes back or something like that, like, and you have a guy that could be a wide receiver one for at least a year or two, then it's a lot more decided. I think that's pretty obvious. The same goes for running back too. If you get a running back that's very capable of starting, then same thing. But Grant, I want to talk about the current situation with the Vikings. Okay, I want to talk about the signings of today and what kind of has happened. So the Vikings have lost a lot of guys today, both as depth and starters. Cam Bynum signed somewhere else. Nick Mullins signed somewhere else. Johnny Mundt signed somewhere else. Patrick Jones signed somewhere else. Vikings have signed a cornerback today, Isaiah Rodgers from the Eagles. He was playing outside for them, played very well. He was suspended in 2023 for gambling, but decent pickup. They're still kind of screwed though. They need to get if Byron Murphy does not resign with the Vikings, their secondary is kind of
Bad.
it's not good. It's not looking good. Really not looking good. Mekhi Blackman is a good player, but
has Harrison Smith been announced to retire?
Nope. Or not announced to retire, not announced to resign yet.
So it's
he's just kind of sitting there.
Nah, it's year, what is it? Year 16, year 15. Yeah, no, the Viking legend is back. He's starting.
Yeah. But haven't signed any safeties besides Theo Jackson, who we re-signed on a 2-year deal. The only thing that we've done substantially is signing Ryan Kelly, who's a center. Now, if you ask me, obviously, I was talking about signing Drew Dahlman, all this stuff, right? Like Garrett Bradbury is not good. But if you were to ask me what position needs to be addressed first between center or guard, I would 100% have said guard. So the fact that they signed a center first besides Will Fries, who, by the way, he's the last remaining good guard on top. He's the top cream of the crop. All right. If they don't get him, it's a whole mess. It's a disaster. And as of right now, when we're recording this, which is about to be 7 p.m. Central Time on Monday, they have yet to do that. Now,
you need two guards too, correct?
Blake Brendel is technically our left guard. He played okay, not great, but okay. He could get away with that. I'd rather not.
Brett Brendel will be your starting guard next year.
Blake Brendel, left guard. But I mean, here's the deal. So Ryan Kelly's currently our starting center. There's no way that they sign him to play guard.
Yeah.
Garrett Bradbury is small and he gets bulldozed, but there's a non-zero chance that the Vikings opt to play him at guard play him at guard instead of center, which I frankly would vomit at the thought of. So I hope that's not the case. If the Vikings don't land Will Fries, I personally think this offseason's a disaster. Even if they get Jonathan Allen, even if they get you have Ryan Kelly, even if they bring Byron Murphy back, whatever, you need that. He's like 26, 27, 28. For JJ McCarthy to be there, you're looking at what the Bears have done successfully this offseason, which is a fucking milestone. You need to do that for your own rookie quarterback, I say in quotations. So they need to get Will Fries. And if they don't get that, there's a problem. Maybe even if you get Mekhi Becton or Tevin Jenkins, who, by the way, if Bear fans want to get rid of Tevin Jenkins, you do not want to sign that guy. So even if you do that, you need the right guard and Will Fries. That's the one and done. I don't care. Blank check. Give it to him. Will Fries needs to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I would say though, with Ryan Kelly and specifically JJ McCarthy, it's going to be his first year starting. JJ's still on a rookie contract for 3 years. Yep. And the way I'm thinking about it from your perspective is, hey, I'm KOC. KOC would probably be a little bit aware of how important having a strong, sturdy, reliable center in there with a rookie quarterback. The one thing I'm thinking specifically, and hey, the verdict is out because Michigan was cheating and maybe they knew the play call and maybe JJ McCarthy didn't really have to do much pre-snap shit. But if you have a veteran center there who can call out your shit pre-snap, get all your protections in line, JJ can sit there and do nothing. Ryan Kelly does know what he's doing. Let him.
Here's the other problem. It's a 2-year deal. Ryan Kelly is 32 right now, Grant.
I think you're more than okay with that.
Issues.
I think you're all right. I think you're okay with that for your center, Everett.
No, that's fine. But I'm saying it's a short-term solution. So you might you need to get the guys to shore up the other side of him, because if he's going to be out in 2 years, you want to have a right guard staple there for the next 3 years, next 4 years, who's 26 right now.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. At guard, you're, the way the Vikings core may be looking, we'll see what they do with Jordan Addison, but there's a chance that they may have to be paying Darisaw, O'Neal, Jay Jettas, JJ, and maybe Jordan too, or maybe another tight end like Hawk.
That's keep in mind, a lot of money. The cap continually increases.
Of course, but also so do players' contracts in relation to the cap.
Very true.
CJ going to be richest quarterback pretty soon here. Going to be highest paid ever pretty soon here.
Very true.
But I'm thinking of a percentage, cap space is like 270 right now. Quarterbacks can go from 50 to 55. That's
Grant,
20% of your cap in a player.
we have said, like obviously if you can draft a guard, something that plays well, awesome. Like I'm only talking about one guard here. But as a general matter, like obviously your tackles and stuff, matter. Keep in mind, Brian O'Neill is, I believe, 30 right now. Like he's on the back end of his career at this point, coming off injuries, playing well, but still back end towards of his career.
So are you telling me Donovan Jackson is the perfect pick?
Maybe. But as a general matter, like
if you're gonna Donovan Jackson,
if you're gonna spend money on position groups, there are really 3, maybe 4 position groups where I feel like it is really like important. Like to win football games, Grant, you need to have good players in the trenches. First of all, you need to have players in the trenches. So offensive line, defensive line, number one thing where it's like that's okay to spend money there, in my opinion. Quarterback, 100% okay to spend money. I think the very last position where it's 100% understandable to invest and have that be like a large percent of your cap is wide receiver. If you have a really good wide receiver one, understandable. Corners would probably be the next up on that list. But outside of that, running back, safeties, linebacker, that can all be back end stuff. You can figure that out later. So tight end, same deal. You don't need to have a high paid tight end. Like you can have a serviceable guy for cheap.
Yeah, so that's why
Vikings just have a luxury in TJ Hawkinson right now.
Yeah, like some teams they have luxuries all over. Like Niners with Kittle, you have an extra tackle in your run game.
Rico Dowdle is not expected to return to the Cowboys after signing Javonte Williams. Grant, Ashton Genty, welcome to the Cowboys. Welcome to Dallas, buddy.
God. You had me concerned about a Broncos Ashton Genty. Holy shit! Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that'd actually be a good ass? That'd be a nice little offense. That'd be a fun little offense.
I will be crying laughing when I get the notification that the Denver Broncos have traded up to like the 7th overall pick.
Well, depending on the price, I might be okay with them trading up for Genty. All right, I may be okay with that because that.
Now, what if the Broncos signed Evan Ingram? They signed another wide receiver, and then they got Genty.
And who would that wide receiver be? Who would that be? Put a name that you think would strike fear into my eyes, because I can't really think of one right now in the market.
Stephon.
It wouldn't strike fear into my eyes.
Keenan. Revenge. Remember, 2 games a year. Revenge game, Keenan.
Oh yeah, for 3 weeks, going crazy. 19 targets, 18 catches, 800 yards, 2 games. But
oh god.
Denver, like, I think it would make a lot of sense with Denver's pick that they get one of these tight ends. They get Warren, they get Loveland, help out Bo Nix on that end.
It seems like from what it seems like Evan Ingram and
is looking to sign.
It's looking to sign that way as of this moment.
Okay, now that fixes it, and I think Bo Nix would love Evan Ingram.
I agree.
They need that other wide receiver. I mean, unless they can start using Marvin Mims like Lincoln did down year 1 in Norman. I doubt that they can. So
Amari Cooper, wide receiver 2 to the Broncos. Here we go.
I thought
that did not actually. No. That did not actually happen. No, that did not actually happen.
I would be a little bit more scared of the Broncos if they had Amari than Stephon purely off of injury and locker room cancer.
Fair.
Stephon Diggs
very fair point.
The reason that Bo Nix is like, I'm out.
Ask for a trade after year 2.
I would say this, like Stephon Diggs on Chargers, like if Stephon Diggs signs a contract to the Los Angeles Chargers, I think he'd be on his best behavior. If he got traded to us, okay, he could still be a diva. He didn't choose it.
No. If he's also the back end of his career right now. Yeah, you have to choose.
Willingly signs to Harbaugh, he has to shut up. Like, or else why did you come here? Like, you knew what you were getting into, dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just look at some last things here before we wrap up this episode. Like, is there any other specific free agency stuff, free agency things? I don't moves as of day 1. By the way, this is just tampering period, right? Like, there's still a lot more free agency to happen.
Yeah. Well, hey, I don't remember this from past years, but is there a good chance, no chance, little chance that some of these reported deals they're like, oh, actually he's
Anthony
not.
Barr backed out of his deal with the Jets.
Okay, so okay,
Even
sure.
today,
Okay,
Milton Williams was reported to sign with the Panthers, backed out of it, and then signed with the Patriots within like an hour and a
okay, yeah,
half.
okay, so perfect. All right, okay, so nothing is official until the team tweets it.
Yeah, yeah, more, yeah. And they'll tweet it on Wednesday, but
Official.
they'll officially tweet it on Wednesday.
Yeah, today I think you're allowed to announce re-signs or keeps.
Today, you're allowed to announce
Oh. Okay.
anything technically.
Okay.
Well, like the
Okay.
teams aren't announcing it, the reporters are announcing it. That's why it's fine because this is legal tampering.
The Los Angeles Chargers official account may or may not have announced some signings today, Everett.
There's certain things that are allowed, but like major, like if, I'm assuming they announced Tier Tart, like that's
I
fine.
I think they announced Khalil Mack. Let me just check real
That's
quick for
also
you.
fine because there's a re-sign. Like that, that's fine.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying though. Like for re-signs, is it fine?
No, but if they sign Najee Harris, I doubt you're going to see them say anything until Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I'm more so getting at. Oh yeah, no, Chargers. Return of the Mac.
Yeah, if you don't know that, turn the show off. Turn the show off.
Leave, unsubscribe.
Too young.
Stop sharing.
Too
Don't
young.
download. But okay, last little thing I
One
have
star.
is about Major League Baseball. If you would like
Okay,
to wrap
we
up
can
with
wrap.
that,
We can
or
wrap
if
up
you
with
got
that. Yeah. No.
all right.
That works. We're gonna have a much more long, I'm assuming, in depth segment when everything's officialized. Anyways. So
Yeah. So, all right, folks. Roki Sasaki may or may not be the goat. Um, Roki Sasaki has a pitch in his arsenal that is so elite. Ever it is so disgusting. Um, what if I told you not even Roki Sasaki knows what direction that this pitch is going to go? What if I told you that? What I I I pray for Will Smith's pass ball numbers this year because they're going to be high. Or there's going to be a lot of pass balls this year, folks. Okay, so just get over it now. It's going to happen. But we got a couple of fun facts. So for anyone listening along, please join me in looking up Roki Sasaki pitch profiler on Twitter. Okay, Roki Sasaki in his 3 innings last week, spring training MLB debut, he exhibited some of the most disgusting advanced metrics that the baseball world has ever seen. Where we'll start off, with just our basics. Roki throws a 98 mile an hour average fastball. It can top out up to 100, 101. He can throw triple digits. But the really important thing about Roki's fastball is that he has an extension value that is nearly 7 feet long, which means
oh my god,
when Roki releases the ball out of his hand after he finishes his pitching motion, he is 7 feet in front of the pitching mound. So he releases the ball about half a foot to a foot further than the average MLB pitcher. And because the ball's coming out closer to the batter, that longer extension gives the illusion that the pitch is faster. So it's a 98 to 101 mile an hour fastball, but it appears faster because he's releasing it so late out of his hand. Also, a thing with Glasnow, he's 6'8". He throws like 96 to 98, but Glasnow, Everett, has an extension of around 7.5 feet. So, like Tyler Glasnow's 98 feels like Roki's 100.
Which is
makes sense.
Yeah.
So Roki, he still throws 98.
Just also keep in mind how long Glasnow is, though.
He's 6'8". All right.
Yeah.
Like, he's
that man is Slenderman.
Yeah, no, quite literally. But it's that release that makes that fastball appear a little bit quicker. It's still 100, folks. It's not a slow fastball. It's still 100. But that's not the pitch that we're here to talk about, Everett. The pitch we're here to talk about is Roki's splitter. Now, I remember in December or November reading an article from an MLB scout who spends his time in Japan, and he was saying, guys, Roki's splitter, I don't want to, I don't want to get ahead of myself, don't want to like crown anything early, but Roki Sasaki's splitter at that time in December is probably the best pitch on the planet, maybe the best pitch ever in all of baseball, other than Mariano Rivera's cutter. But this splitter is so dirty and gross. We're gonna have just some fun little facts. So first things first, Roki throws his splitter 86 miles an hour, which is no joke. That is quite fast. But here's where it gets very interesting. Roki's fastball has a 2,000 RPM, which is honestly on a bit of the slower side, not the greatest spin. But his splitter has an RPM of 518. 518.
Excuse me?
Three digits. What is this thing? Is this thing like a knuckleball? Yes, folks, it is like a knuckleball. That's actually exactly
it's quite literally what it is
to do with this splitter. So it has a 500 RPM, and there's a cluster online of his pitch mix on this splitter. He's also pitching today on Tuesday, right now, when you're watching this right now, folks. So you could probably see a live, fresh one from today. But if you look at the cluster of where his splitters are thrown, they can break up to 5 inches both to the left and to the right of dead center home plate, which means, folks, Roki Sasaki's splitter breaks both left and right. Now the verdict is still out. Does he have the ability to pick break left or break right? Or is it just a natural knuckleball with that little rotations? The ball moves funky. It's not as consistent with these high RPM flamethrower pitchers. You get a consistent movement in every pitch because it's coming at the same RPM. It's moving so fast. But when it's that slow, like the little wind resistance matters a lot more now, Everett. It impacts the ball a lot more now. And, I don't know this for a fact, but if you were to tell me Roki doesn't even know what direction his splitter is moving, that wouldn't shock me because it's going so slow. And if you see some of these clips, it has a very, very, very late break. Like this ball is moving, Everett, 6, 7, 8 inches downwards while the batter is starting his swing and approaching the ball. It breaks very, very late. And so this splitter, it could be the nastiest pitch we've ever seen. It is disgusting. It is one of a kind unicorn pitch. But where it gets really interesting, Everett, Roki Sasaki has the largest gaps between his main two pitches, his fastball splitter. He is number one in the MLB in velocity difference, spin rate difference, and most importantly, break difference.
Yeah, he also hasn't pitched an official game yet, and he's number one.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched an official game yet, but I know when he was first getting hyped up, I was spending a ton of time talking about, hey, he throws 101, guys. Like he throws 100. Like I was looking at velo. Oh boy, was I a dum dum? It's not the velo which makes Roki special. It is this second splitter. That's what makes him so gross. But yeah, that's all I had. And also shout out Chase Burns. Chase Burns' fastball slider combo. He's, I believe, the only pitcher in the MLB with 280 graded pitches. He's also 22 and has not made his MLB debut yet. So there's that.
Yeah, well. That's the other side of the coin. But I think with that, we're going to wrap up the episode here. So stay tuned for more free agency breakdown whenever we have our actual episode come out on Thursday, because that will be the officialized signing day when we record that. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterboy You can follow me on Twitter at Everett6 and at Waterboy Grant. We post new episodes every week, basically every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so miss a single episode. We also post exclusive content on Instagram and on TikTok. So check us out there as well at the Waterboy Pod. See you guys next episode. Waterboy's out.